nothing the game. Right now, Foreman is talking down menacingly to Muhammad Ali. This is an old movie rerun, too. The same kind of Ali scene you've seen so many times.
Get that jump back. Get that jump back. Hold it, George. Don't jump on it. Get him back in there.
One number that Foreman really takes him as seriously as he looks. Foreman has been a dispirited, lonely man through all of the 6 months that have passed since Ali knocked him out in the 8th round. He is here alone today, in effect. Not with him is Dick Sadler, his former trainer-manager. Not with him is Archie Moore, who's always been at ringside with him. Not with him is Sandy Sadler. The only one with him, as his corner man, is a gentleman by the name of John Gray. Look at Ali going through his act, looking up, and George right over us again, talking back down to Muhammad Ali. John Gray in George's corner was a very famous cut man for 13 years with Hammer and Henry Armstrong. He's a veteran boxing guy and knows his business in the corner, but you have to wonder why George is trying to do it all alone. And what has he got to gain, really? If he knocks these 5 guys out, they'll say, well, he should have. They're all stiffs. But if he fails to knock any one of them out, they'll say he's not the fighter he was. It's impossible to believe that 6 months' time, 1 defeat, and at age 25, George Foreman is no longer an exceptional fighter. That's the interest that attaches to this bizarre occasion here at Maple Leaf Gardens this afternoon. Jerry Hiff, the ring announcer, introducing George Foreman right now. He'll be in red trunks. His first opponent will be Alonzo Johnson. Alonzo Johnson, who's at 208 pounds. In the very opening of this show at the tees, Foreman indicated on your picture that he would do away with Johnson in the 2nd round. And he probably should. Johnson is 40 years old, professionally, 42 fights, a 23-19 record. But for a long number of years, he did not fight competitively in the professional ranks. He was instead, believe it or not, Muhammad Ali's sparring partner, has been up at Deer Lake. Still in the midst of all of his tomfoolery, Ali made perhaps one very pertinent point, to wit, that 5 guys can add up on you, and that he could, Foreman, tire and have a tough time of it. All 5 opponents are in the ring now. Gloves are getting laced on each of them. So the stage is being set right now for the first of the 5 bouts this afternoon in Maple Leaf Gardens. George Foreman against Alonzo Johnson. Back in a moment. Back live at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, Canada, awaiting the start of Foreman's first bout this afternoon against Alonzo Johnson. The order of the opponents for Foreman today was picked by draw out of a basket yesterday and picked by notable sports writers all over the United States. Examples, Dave Anderson, the columnist for the New York Times, as you saw George just then, already showing anger and waiting to get at one of his opponents. Dave Anderson having been one in that drawing, and Bill Verrigan of the New York Daily News another. Foreman walking along the ropes, talking to some of the people in the crowd. Muhammad, in the order of opponents today, Boone Kirkman will be the last. He's the fighter with the best record, 32 victories, 5 defeats.
That shows George is really trying to do the best, and he's not jiving. He's got the best man last.
Well, he had nothing to do with it.
Well, then he's in trouble then, because I think if he had his chance, he'd pick the best man first while it was fresh. If I was coaching these fellas, I'd tell the first 3 to lay on the ropes like I did, just block punches and get him tired, and the last 2 should open up on him.
Well, you're going to have a chance to talk to the fighters later as they go back to the dressing room. Those awaiting their turn, at least, and you can give them your advice then. quickly, would you have them use your newly developed rope tactics?
My new
against them?
tactics. Lay on the ropes and just let the man get tired. If the man hurts you, get back off the ropes. But I don't advise no fighter lay on the ropes if he gets hit in the stomach or the kidneys or on the head or if he's getting hurt. As long as I cannot be hurt and defend myself and tire the other guy out, I'll lay on the ropes. But I don't advise no fella listening to this fight to
There's going to be countdowns, knockdowns, fouls.
All right. We're about ready for the first fight against Alonzo Johnson. Jerry Hiff is the ring announcer. The referee in this bout will be a veteran Canadian referee, one of the best in the nation, Harry Davis. He'll referee the first 3 bouts, then another veteran referee, Sammy Lovespring, will be refereeing the last 2 bouts. The introduction again of George Foreman. Alonzo Johnson has been introduced. 3 knockdowns in a round will not automatically terminate the fight. It'll be a matter of the referee's discretion. There will be the mandatory 8 count. The fighters are wearing the usual, the regulatory 10-ounce gloves. Once again, you're looking at the baleful stare of George Foreman. What do you think of the baleful stare? He got that from Sonny Liston.
He's trying to scare his opponents. That don't work.
The bell for round 1. Quickly to ring center. Alonzo Johnson has sparred with you so often. What do you look from the door?
Alonzo's a good fighter. He could be knocked out if he really hit him. I think George could knock him out if he tagged him. But he's a good boxer. He's kind of hard to hit. He's scientific. He was a top ring pro at one time. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's mature and he's developed. And if George gets him, George is going to have to really work. He just won't get him easy.
This is first round action. George
is doing a lot of dancing, which is not his style. He's moving. I think he's trying to impress me that he can move, but I don't dance that much now. I lay on the rope, so he's dancing for nothing if you think he's going to dance with me. Because I'll do the same thing, lay on the rope and tire him out. Be surprised now, Alonzo Johnson is much better than he looks.
George said he was going to go right at each of them.
Well, I think there's a lot of publicity. It's not as easy as it looks. He might say he can knock his man out, but he's clowning and joking, but it's not as easy. When the man is weighing 230-something pounds, he's not in the top condition.
232 is far more than he has ever weighed for a bout.
And he's supposed to knock this man out 1 round, wasn't it?
No, he put up his fingers and said he'd knock him out in the 2nd round, Muhammad.
Well, we'll see. I think it's harder than he think it is, but we'll see. He's got a name, he's got a reputation. This has been highly publicized, but I think he's got a little too much on his hands tonight. You see him popping and tapping. He's not really going after this man because it takes a lot out of him. He's got 15 rounds to go if he goes the distance with all of them. So you got to make a show out of it. You can't really go out there and do your best. See, he's doing things now that he wouldn't do in a real fight. He must think it's Easter bunny. Tell all the people in Orlando, do not fear because I have a private jet to get me out tonight. I'll be in Orlando, Florida tonight.
They know you're going to be there. Foreman got in a quick left and a right there. The 2 half-decent blows he's thrown this round. So far, there's been no action, really.
The people here at ABC wanted me to come help you with this tonight, and also told you I had some announcements to make. I can't be at Leeds, the catalog leader store tonight. I'll be there the 29th of this month. That's Leeds, the catalog leader. I'll be there signing autographs at 4 p.m.
Okay. All right, that's the end of the announcements, gentlemen. Let's get back to this action.
The action is George is just jumping around and looking for a good shot, but this man is much better than he thought. This is the first time he's been in there with Alonzo.
We approach the end of round 1. No action. right, we're back live at Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens. Round 2 of the first of Foreman against 5. Alonzo Johnson in the white trunks. The opponent, the familiar George Foreman in the red trunks. No action in the first round, really. So little, in fact, that the fans started to boo George Foreman at the end of the first round.
That's it! That's it! That's it!
It is the round. We'll hear Muhammad Ali working with me at ringside, yelling, cover up in the ring. This is the round. Foreman said he'd knock Johnson.
Get on the ropes! Get on the ropes! Come up! He'll get tired! He'll get tired! Come up! Come up! Come up!
Barry went down with a left. In spite of all the advices.
He fights dirty.
In spite of all the advices of Muhammad Ali and all of the shouting in the background. Now Foreman is talking. As we've had the count, Foreman is over here.
Lay on the rope.
Talking to Ali.
Lay on the rope.
He's down again, quickly, from another left.
Lay on the rope. Lay on the rope.
Referee Harry Davis
on the rope.
Allows the fight to continue.
Come up on the rope. Hold on. Come up.
There he goes, down again. Third time down. That does not automatically end the fight. However, his handler comes in to stop it. To the boos of the crowd, the fight is over in the second round. As George Foreman predicted, Alonzo Johnson. There it is in replay. There it is in replay. And George Foreman is walking around the center of the ring.
Great show, great show. George has knocked out his first opponent.
So far, Muhammad Ali's putting on his own show. The second fight coming up. We'll be back in just a moment. We're back again live at Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens, preparing for the second bout. Ali has created, sitting here to my right, a carnival atmosphere in the arena. He is really excited, George Foreman, though it has temporarily subsided during the commercial break. Foreman actually came through the ropes and at it. The opponent you're looking at now is Jerry Judge. He's 195 pounds. Harry Davis will again be the referee. Foreman has indicated he'll knock Judge out in the first round. Judge is 26, 20 pro bouts, a 15-4-1 record, 12 knockouts to his credit. He's been knocked out only once himself. Once again, the baleful stare of George Foreman, which he derived from the man whose boxing disciple he truly is.
You crazy.
Was the late Charles Sonny Lister.
That's crazy.
Now the crowd, while we were away, started chanting, Ali, 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 and it really got into George Foreman. A most difficult scene for him. First round action, second of Foreman against 5. Jerry Judge, the opponent, in the blue trunks, Foreman in the red. Foreman has worked up a good sweat and doing away with Alonzo Johnson in bout number 1. One thing about Judge, some of the others may have been afraid, but not Judge. He dreams of a miracle knockout and a big name for himself. He's a gutsy, tough kid, but an inexperienced fighter and should be no match for Foreman.
Well, he's doing pretty good.
Right now he is.
No match, he's doing pretty good. I know he's moving, he's got reach, he's getting in and out. Foreman haven't done nothing yet. He's tagging Foreman.
He got a good left into the midsection on
Don't say
Foreman
the man
there.
ain't doing nothing, and don't say it's easy, because the man ain't that easy. The man's a good fighter. I'm surprised. These fellas are better than I thought they were.
There's Terry Daniels in the lower right-hand corner of the screen, George Foreman's next opponent. You'll remember Terry fought Joe Frazier when Joe was the champion in January of '72 in New Orleans, Florida, Louisiana. That was when Dallas crushed my... Oh, good left gotten in by Terry Daniels. A good left by Terry Daniels.
Terry Daniels.
I mean, Jerry Judge. Forgive me.
Howard Cosell, you're not the announcer you used to be.
You're exactly right. Sitting next to you, I can go crazy. Jerry Judge in the blue trunks. Now Foreman's getting to the kid. That left stung Foreman, and he's going after him. He had said he would knock Jerry Judge out in the first round. The first round is coming to its close. We're within the final minute. There went, from that right, Jerry Judge went down. George is now talking while the count continues over Judge again to Ali. He saw the way the kid came back with the left. Now George is talking to Ali. He's paying too much attention to Ali and not enough to young Jerry Judge. This is a tough, gutsy kid, as I said. The bell for round one. George is getting mad. George wanted to keep going after him. Jerry Judge is enjoying it, a big smile on his face.
You're doing good.
It's hard to tell what's happening to George Foreman. You just saw him half staggering around. The aftermath to George Foreman of that fight in Zaire has been strange indeed. Look at him walking around, looking at the fans who are booing him. This has to be a downright ugly scene for George Foreman. Come on, Muhammad, sit back and leave him alone. All right, the bell for round two, the second of 5 opponents, Jerry Judge in the blue trunks. George Foreman dancing now. Jerry Judge actually stung him. Hit him back with a sharp left in the first round. Jerry Judge went down once, but he escaped and came up fighting, surprising Foreman. Seven months ago, George Foreman, so young and seemingly so invincible. Frazier done away with in the second round. Norton, the same thing. Good fighters, both.
Howard, that boy hit George with a hard punch and actually shook him up.
He did. There's no question about it, Muhammad.
That boy's a good boxer. I'm surprised. This is why I told you, Howard, this wasn't a pushover. Now, George is getting a little tired. He's sweating now, losing a lot of perspiration. And by the time he meets the fifth man, who's the best, we can see that this is going to be really rough. Now, if George is in with the same man, he'll be tiring the man out. But you must remember that each man George meets is fresh, and George is constantly getting tired. And all the people out there in Orlando, Florida, get your tickets and be ready, because I'll be there tonight. And you can watch me in person live, and you'll see there's no comparison between me and George Foreman. My private jet is warming up, and I'll be in Orlando tonight. Jack Moore, all of y'all be ready.
That, of course, was
Cosell don't like
Muhammad
me
Ali.
promoting.
Foreman is having a difficult time
Yes, he's
with
having
Jerry
a difficult
Judge.
time. He's having a difficult time, Howard, and I want you to tell the people the truth. It's not as easy as we thought it would be for George.
He has absolutely nothing to gain and everything to lose in this 5-fight.
Plus, Howard, I'm watching him.
today.
I'm spying on him. I'm
Now,
watching.
he got into Judge there and hurt him with a left and with a right. Down went Jerry for the second time in the fight. Referee Harry Davis.
But you got to remember, these fellas are getting out. George is tired. He's got to continue.
Number 2, George.
Referee Harry
Number
Davis
2,
has
George.
stopped the fight. Second round, it ended. What is happening there? Foreman is not himself. He's going after the kid again, needlessly, for no reason. He has beaten him. This is an absurd scene. Foreman is beside himself. And Ali's presence here has to have something to do with it. You see, you hear the fan reaction. Sit down, Muhammad, to George Foreman. The thing is a carnival, and it's not pleasant to see. Fans now throwing things into the ring. For a man who has been, at age 24 and 25, the heavyweight champion of the world. I'd like now to alert our stations along the line that at the conclusion of this fight, we'll be going to our network commercial, followed immediately by the station break. That'll be right now. We're back live at Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens. This is what has just transpired here. George Foreman again coming through the ropes. That's Don King, the promoter, and Muhammad Ali. George Foreman telling Ali what he was going to do to them if and when they meet again. George is standing right over us now. He has been receiving the boos of the crowd constantly. The thing is degenerated into a charade, a carnival. Not a pretty scene to see. It's hard to tell what's happened in truth to George Foreman. His behavior has been kind of weird, though he has been agitated to an extraordinary extent by Muhammad Ali, who is immediately to my right. Ali has been right about one thing. It's not so easy to fight 5 different guys, one after another, each of them fresh. Once in, then there was the weird scene at the end of the second round. Well, the fight had been
Jared
stopped.
Daniels won't look him in the eyes, scared.
The fight had been stopped, and George still went after Jerry Judge, and the two wrestled to the canvas. It was a scene that was hard to believe. Terry Daniels landing with a quick left. Terry Daniels in the white trunks as this fight starts. The man out of SMU once had a shot at the heavyweight crown against Joe Frazier, January '72. In New Orleans, where they played the Super Bowl that year. Dallas crushing Miami, but in no way doing the damage to the Dolphins that Frazier then did to Daniels. Daniels was finished in the 4th. Daniels has been fighting ever since, not too successfully. Foreman had said he wouldn't knock Daniels out until the 3rd round. At the very top of our show, in the tease when he lifted up fingers to indicate the round. Even those closest to George Foreman have been concerned about the fact he's not been the same man ever since Ali beat him. There seems to have been a loss of confidence. George is using the left now effectively against Daniels, trying to set him up for that powerful right. Think back to the footage you saw at the top of this show of Foreman doing away with Frazier. 6 times he knocked Joe, a truly great fighter, down. And then the same kind of thing against Norton. Compare that with the George Foreman you're looking at today. Hard to believe, isn't it? There was a good right by Foreman. He's got to somehow get a grip on himself. A powerhouse right to Daniels. Terry only 195 pounds. Foreman at 232. 12 pounds more than he weighed when he fought Ali in Zaire. The 3rd opponent for George Foreman. Alonzo Johnson out in 2. Jerry Judge out in 2. Bizarre, you say? Yes, indeed. Not without precedent, though. Dempsey, oh, there it was in the 1st round. Down from a quick left. Foreman coming directly over me again, and now challenging Muhammad Ali again. You see my back and Ali's back. Foreman back to the action as Daniels gets up after the 8 count. Foreman again with 2 good lefts. Another good left. Little Terry Daniels obviously no match for the third of 5 opponents. Good right. He's getting ready to put Terry away. Foreman just said, see, he can't stay on the ropes, looking down at Ali. He's been paying as much attention to Ali throughout the afternoon.
He'll get all he wants when he meets me. He'll get all he wants. He can whoop these 5 men, but he won't whoop no one me.
Metropolitan Life, where the future...
All right, we're back live at Maple Leaf Gardens. Second round, Terry Daniels, third opponent in the white trunks against George Foreman in the red. And for those of you who have been with us from the beginning, an utterly weird afternoon. I've called it a carnival, a charade, whatever you want to say about it. Some weird behavior, too, by George Foreman, agitated by Muhammad Ali, who's next to me at ringside. This is round 2. Daniels went down in the first round, and Foreman had him ready for the kill, but didn't quite do it. I'll not soon forget the scene of Jerry Judge, the fight over, the referee declaring Foreman the winner. Foreman, oddly, still going at him, and the two of them wrestling to the canvas. Foreman obviously out to try to reestablish his confidence in himself. As I said, a bizarre occasion, but not without precedent. Dempsey fought 5 men in one day in Boise, Idaho in 31. Battling Levinsky, light heavyweight, in 1915. Fought a man in Brooklyn in the morning, a man in New York in the afternoon, a man in Waterbury, Connecticut in the night. And all 3 went the distance with him. Terry Daniels is hurt. The superior weight and strength just pushed him back against the ropes then, together with the punching and the pain registered in his face. He's trying to hang in there, though. In 1958, in the little town of Bingham, Utah, Lamar Clark went against 5 opponents. Did away with them all. 3 years later, he lost to a 19-year-old kid whose name then was Cassius Clay. Oh, what a left by George Foreman. Little Terry Daniels, little at 195, next to the 232-pound Foreman. You see him staggering. He's ready to go. It's a game, kid, but he's ready to go. Oh, that left. Now he's got him pinned against the ropes. He's holding on. Still didn't go down. He still didn't go down, Muhammad.
Yeah, but he's got to lay on the ropes. He might go, though. Still might go. But if he can just cover up and use that rope tactic. He's blasting now. George is tired, too. George has got 2 more fresh men waiting for him now. Remember that.
Foreman just told the referee to stop it. And the referee has stopped it, and the crowd disapproved. Foreman told the referee to stop it. Terry Daniels is walking after him. Terry's handlers are over-talking to me and screaming, no, he's not out. They've started fighting again. The referee off in the corner with the handler. I told you this is the weirdest occasion you'll ever want to see.
He started fighting because it's not really a fight. The referee's fighting George now. The trainer's fighting George. You can't take him down. I'll straighten it all out. I'll straighten it all out. You just wait until I get in there. I'll straighten it all out.
Now there's going to be a fight between the trainers. Now there's nothing but bedlam, mayhem in the ring. The thing totally out of control. Watch the pictures for yourself and see what this does for boxing. Terry Daniels being cheered by the crowd.
Good, man.
There'll be another bout coming up. And this may be the last time in history there will ever be
You out of sight,
5
George.
fights in one day.
You doing
and
it.
this kind of promotion put on again. The next opponent will be Charlie Polite. We'll be back in a moment.
You know,
Once again, we're back live at Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens in an absolutely zany non-advertisement for boxing. We're coming up to our 4th bout. Charlie Polite is the man you're looking at, the 4th opponent. He's a veteran of 46 pro fights, and he's not a very good fighter, to say the least. His record is 13-30-3. He's been knocked out 13 times. There's the introduction. Sammy Lovespring is the new referee. He, too, is a veteran referee.
You're doing good.
Now Ali is
surprising
telling
everybody.
George that he's doing good. Alonzo Johnson went in 2. Jerry Judge went in 2. Terry Daniels. The fight was stopped in 2. Much to the chagrin of Terry Daniels, his handlers, and the crowd. The bell for round 1. Coming up next, Boone Kirkman. By that time, we may really see a fight.
Well, we're really seeing fights now. These guys are fighting George until they get hit. And George is getting tired. Boone Kirkman should be fresh. That's what I want to see, how he can go. I don't know what this fella can do here, but I'll know after this round.
Charlie Polite showing a little movement. George, what is that?
Charlie Polite's going to look like he's pretty good. He's determined. He's not afraid. The main thing is how these guys are not afraid.
What is this new bouncing technique of Foreman's?
Well, I really don't know. I think he's trying to throw me off. He know I'm watching him. And if he's smart, won't let me see his secrets. He won't do his best because he knows that a professional can watch you and steal your style, or he can master your style. So I think he don't want me to really see what he can do.
Charlie Polite in the black trunks, round 1 of his scheduled 3-rounder against George Foreman, in what has turned out to be a series of preposterous events. There's Boone Kirkman, right over there in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Of course, Foreman fought him once before and did away with him early. But after going against 4 different guys and not looking like the old Foreman used to, who knows? Oh, you just saw George wave
There
over.
you go. He's laying on the ropes like us, and like he's doing my style. If he lay on the ropes like that, see, George pulls him off. George don't want to lay on the ropes because he'll tire himself out. Take the ropes, Jack. Take the ropes. Time out. Take the ropes. Hit the ropes. Hit the ropes. Play the ropes.
Good left by George with Ali in the background, serving as manager,
Play the
trainer,
ropes.
whatever of the
Time
5
out.
opponents.
Play the ropes. Cover up. Cover up. Don't let him knock all of you out.
It's a slow-paced round.
David
Foreman
Ruffin will whoop both of them.
with wild punches there. And Foreman is tired. You can see
Where's
it.
David? Where's David?
As we count down the end of the first round.
I got
Foreman-
David Ruffin of the Temptations. See, he'll whoop all of them.
Good for you.
That's right.
We're going to commercial break, round 1. back live, Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens, round number 2.
Do what I
Foreman,
tell
the
you,
red
Charlie, I'm
trunks,
the
Charlie
expert.
Polite, the black trunks. This is the 4th opponent.
When he comes
Alonzo
at you, hit the
Johnson,
rope.
Jerry
Come up.
Judge, Terry Daniels. The fights all ended in the 2nd round, although there was great controversy and great disfavor by the fans when the Terry Daniels bout ended, because Terry was still alive and well, up, and wanted more. And he actually went at it more. And then the trainers came out and went at it. An absurd scene, one of many this afternoon.
Hit the ropes. He ain't gonna do nothing. He won't do nothing. Just lay on the ropes. Woo! Woo!
Charlie Polite making the offensive moves. Foreman laying back and
Hit the ropes. He's
quite
scared.
evidently
He's scared. Lay
tired.
on the ropes. Hit the ropes. Hit the ropes. Hit the ropes. There you go. Hit the ropes. There you go. See? Hit the ropes. That's it.
Foreman's
Make it
trying
work.
to pull him
That's it.
off
Hit
the ropes.
Make it work. Make it work. Hit the ropes. Make it work. Hit the ropes. Make it work. Hit the ropes. Make it work. Make it work. There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go.
Foreman
There you
held
go.
Polite's left glove and
Hit the
kept
ropes.
striking away at him with the right. Polite
He's
finally
got a rough
coming
fight
up.
on his hands, Howard. This boy's pretty good. He's doing my style now. Hit the ropes. Let George wear himself out. All you got to do is hit the ropes and tie up. There you go. He's playing it smart now. Come up. Come up that chin and hit the ropes and let George punch himself out.
All right, you've heard the exhortations to Charlie Polite of Muhammad Ali, and indeed, Polite is using a lot of
Don't let him
Ali's
knock out.
tactics
Hit the
against
ropes. Don't let
Foreman
him
and
knock out.
Zaire.
Come up. Come up. Come up. Come up.
And any time that Ali says,
Come up.
Charlie,
Come up.
now
Come up.
Foreman right above us, laying it into Polite against the ropes. I take direct exception to what Ali said. Charlie Polite is not a good fighter. He has won 13, lost 30,
Come up.
and
Come
drawn
up.
3.
Hey, hey. There you go.
Look at that. That's hardly professional, is it?
There you go.
In tactics, Ali is right.
He's doing my style now. See, he's running George out. He's smart. He's taking my style. Uh-oh, he's got George going. We might see upset tonight.
This is the second round, Charlie Polite in the black trunks. And it is interesting, isn't it, that the rope tactics
He's doing my style.
absolutely undo Foreman.
That's right.
The bell for the end of the second round. And the crowd very much with Charlie Polite. All right, in slow motion, you see those wild amateur-like uppercuts as desperately. Muhammad, will you comment on those wild uppercuts that you just
Well,
saw?
he's trying to find opening. He's trying to hit him with a hard one, but the boy's doing the Ali style, the new style, which is laying on the ropes and not getting hurt and covering himself up and letting the man punch himself out.
There's the bell for the third and final round of this scheduled exhibition. Charlie Polite, the
You got him
fourth
going. Hit
of
them ropes.
5
Hit
opponents.
them ropes. Hit them ropes. Hit them ropes. Hit them ropes. Hit them ropes.
One
There
has
you go. There you
wonder
go.
more than ever.
Come
No
on, man.
knockdown, a
Hit
slip.
them ropes. Hit them ropes. That's my new style. That works. Just... Come on, hit the rope. Go to the rope. Okay, tell the rope. Hit the rope on him. Hit the rope on him.
Well, he's following
Hit the rope on
Ali's
him.
advice, but then
Hit the
moves
ropes
off
on
the
him.
ropes again.
Hit the ropes on him. Woo!
He gave a half. Charlie Polite just gave a half Ali shuffle. Polite got in a good right to Foreman's midsection. Foreman is really, although he doesn't show it, desperate to knock this man
Hit the
out.
rope! Hit the rope!
More than
Hit
ever.
the rope!
Muhammad, more than ever, I have to wonder why Foreman went into this thing. Polite just scored with a left. Foreman is enraged. He's after him, wants to put him away.
Go. Hit the rope! Hit the rope! Hey! 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 Here! Hit the ropes! Hit the ropes! Hit the ropes!
This
Hit the
certainly
ropes.
won't do much to build up Foreman's hopes for a rematch against Ali.
Okay. Hey, yeah. There you go. Hit the ropes. Hit the
Isn't that
ropes.
absurd? Ali yelling in the background, hit the ropes.
Hit
And
the
there's
ropes.
Foreman again.
Hit the ropes.
First he danced around half amateurishly, and then the attempts at uppercuts.
Woo!
And Polite coming back at Foreman. There's no scoring in these fights, of course.
Hey, play the ropes. Play the ropes. Play the ropes. Play the ropes.
Round three. Foreman in the red,
Play the
Charlie
ropes. There you
Polite
go.
in the black.
There you go. Wear him out. Get him time. There you go. Play the ropes. Time out. Time out. There you go. Play the ropes. There you go.
There is
Keep
simply no shutting Muhammad Ali up at this point.
Play the ropes.
He is
Play
so
the ropes. There you
delighted
go.
to see
There you
Polite
go.
using the rope.
Hey.
Polite waving Foreman
There
on.
you go.
Polite was
There you
laughing
go.
at him when
There
he
you
went
go.
down. It was
Yeah.
more of a push than a
Yeah.
punch. And Ali is driving himself
There you
into
go.
a horse-throated frenzy, as you
There
can
you go.
hear. No
Yeah.
stopping.
Yeah. Play the ropes.
Foreman cannot
Yeah.
do away,
Play
or
the
at least
ropes.
hasn't been
Play the
able to do
ropes.
away with
Yeah.
a fighter who's won 13, lost 30, and
Play the
drawn
ropes.
3 times.
Yeah.
And he couldn't do it. Polite went to 3 rounds and then waves his arms in disdain at George Foreman. Now the fans are throwing debris again down here. This is a disgusting scene. A bottle just landing
He
on
played the
our
ropes. You notice that? He did the Muhammad Ali style and let George get tired, took his vest, covered up, and kept his chin out of trouble and let him work. I'm going to do that next time I fight him. I'm going to lay on the ropes every time.
All right, now listen to me a minute. Stop shouting and listen. George Foreman is doing very badly today, that's clear. Will this
He's not
affect
doing
his
that.
ability to get a rematch?
He's out of shape, he's overweight, and he's not doing that bad. Won't affect no ability.
All
I'm
right.
glad that the people will see the Muhammad Ali style in action.
Okay. Boone Kirkman, the 5th opponent, coming up back in a moment.
Friday.
We're back live at Maple Leaf Gardens, and here comes George Foreman right above me after Muhammad Ali. He's been trying to answer back to Ali's taunts as this whole Saturday afternoon charade continues in Maple Leaf Gardens. Boone Kirkman shadow boxing in the middle of the ring. The 5th opponent, the last one to go against George Foreman today.
Tired now.
All right, what chance do you give Kirkman?
Well, I give Kirkman a good chance because his resistance is low. George is punching on his trainer now. He's getting punchy. I don't know what's wrong with it.
30 for white points the distance. This is the final competitor from Seattle, Washington, weighing 208 pounds, wearing the white trunks with the red stripes, Boone Kirkman.
Kirkman has won 32. He has lost 5. He was knocked out in the second round in an earlier fight by George Foreman. That was November 18th, 1970. And Foreman is clearly tired, and the crowd has not been at all responsive to him. And you just saw that puzzling exchange between George and his young trainer.
Okay, George, that's gonna work. I'm tired.
George Foreman just leaned over and said to us, "I'm tired, man." And yet he begins with sprightly foot movement.
Play the ropes,
Sprightly
Boone.
for George.
Play the ropes, Boone. Play the ropes,
And
Boone.
immediately Ali goes into his play the ropes Boone chant.
Beat him like I'm gonna beat Hobble Costell.
Kirkman in the white trunks, Foreman in the red. Recapping on the day, Johnson, the fight stopped in 2. Judge, the fight stopped in 2. Terry Daniels, the fight stopped in 2, but Daniels still on his feet and apparently very much alive, and the 2 went at it after the fight was stopped. Terry Daniels and George Foreman. And then Charlie Polite, with a 13-30-3 record, went the full 3 rounds with Foreman. Foreman grossly out of shape, 232 pounds, far above his best fighting weight. Foreman without his manager, Dick Sadler, without the familiar Archie Moore and Sandy Sadler in his corner.
Keep that guard up.
An obviously troubled young man who has lost his confidence in the wake of his loss to Ali last October in Zaire. In circumstances today that turned out to be depressing. A charade.
There you go, George.
Oh, a good right by Foreman then, though. Stung Boone Kirkman, forced him to hold on.
Tell everybody there in Orlando, Florida, I'm going to get on that jet right now, and I'll be there.
Well, you heard the champion. He's got his own exhibition in Orlando.
There you go, George.
Boone Kirkman went through the ropes. He's in desperate trouble. The left floored him. So Foreman, who professed to be dead tired, here in the first round, floors the man with the best record of all 5 of his opponents. Boone Kirkman, who is a promotion of the late Jack Hurley. A personal promotion. Jack Hurley could sell anybody anything. One of the glibbest promoters in the history of boxing, or most glib.
Take him out, George.
Well, Muhammad Ali has left us to catch his Learjet and go to Orlando. Back live, round 2, 5th of 5 bouts. George Foreman against Boone Kirkman. Foreman in the red trunks, Kirkman in the white. Let me reset this weird series of events this afternoon. In the very first fight, Alonzo Johnson stopped in the second. Jerry Judge stopped in the second. Terry Daniels unpopularly stopped in the second. Charlie Polite went all 3 rounds. Foreman has been having a very difficult time today, has been most unimpressive. His behavior has been strange, to say the least, his personal behavior. And he obviously was seeking to prove something here today. What, I don't know. Maybe something to himself. Maybe a desperate attempt to reestablish his confidence in himself as a fighter. Again, I say, only 25 years of age, with that remarkable unbeaten record, with the consecutive knockouts over Joe Frazier to acquire the title and over Kenny Norton in Caracas, Venezuela, one would hardly think that one loss to Ali, that 8th-round knockout in Zaire, would so undo him. And yet, in a strange and psychological way, it almost seems to have done just that. Foreman right now, as you see him, is a very tired man, even though he decked Kirkman in the first round. Once again, as in Zaire, the arms seem almost listless. The foot movement is absent, though he has never been one to be swift of feet, to be a boxer. And so this afternoon, which has descended or degenerated into a carnival, put it as you will, has been an afternoon that cannot have a wholesome aspect in George Foreman's boxing career. A good left by Boone Kirkman that hurt George Foreman. Exactly what we're talking about. One has to wonder why, oh why did George Foreman do it? So out of this whole sequence of eerie circumstances, one thing emerges. George Foreman is not the fighter that he was before he fought Muhammad Ali. That seems a fair presumption under the circumstances. And that resets this afternoon in Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens. Ali himself was utterly agitational here at ringside with me. He seems to have hit to the very nerve center of Foreman's brain. He had Foreman undone, George out of shape to begin with at 232, and he rendered himself into a horse frenzy as he screamed the rope tactics to each of the 5 opponents in succession. Charlie Polite used those very tactics to endure the whole 3 rounds. As the second round comes to its end, we will be back in just a moment. Back live at Toronto's Maple Leaf Gardens. This will be the 3rd and final round, the end of what one might charitably call the boxing activities today. 2 rounds with Johnson, 2 with Judge, 2 with Daniels, 3 with Polite, 9 rounds, and now into the 12th round with Boone Kirkman. A weary George Foreman. Foreman in the red trunks, Boone Kirkman in the white. To salvage something. Oh, a good right lead by Kirkman. To salvage something out of the day, Foreman would like to put this man away. It's got to come suddenly. Don't forget, this is a man who in November of 1970, November 18th to be exact, Foreman knocked out in the 2nd round. You can understand this if Foreman were in his 30s, but he's still a kid. Now he's desperate. He's pouring leather. He's got Kirkman staggering all over the place and holding on, as you see. Foreman looking over at his corner, getting instructions. We're in the 3rd and final round. It will be the 12th round of action for George Foreman here today. More, incidentally, than he had ever gone before on any single occasion. Kirkman again got a good right lead on George.
I think George is proving what he wants to prove, that he has stamina. That's what he says. He's standing around just a block. You want to prove that he has stamina.
Kirkman is cut over the left eye. There's a slit over the left eye. Foreman quickly going to work on it. But George is tired. You can see it. Referee Sammy Lovegrass is examining the eye. Sammy separates them. As the fight winds down to its end, you will hardly memorialize the events here at Maple Leaf Gardens today. All right, we're up on the ring apron now. George, I wonder if you'd come over here. George, some very strange things happened out there today. We'll get into them, but first, what do you think you proved?
Proved one thing. All them guys are gone, and I'm still hopping up in there, ready to go make some more. After I knocked out 5, I'm going to knock out 3. Joe Frazier, Ken Nord, and Ali. Although the referee's not going to allow these guys to lay on the rope like they did. You cannot fight and lay on no ropes. You can't fight and lay on no ropes. What's wrong with these men? The only reason the guy went to 3 rounds, he laid on the rope. I'm going to fight. I'm going to beat every heavyweight in the world. Then I'm going to retire, go home and kiss my little daughter, and get away from boxing.
Did Ali?
Ali might be good, but as long as I'm around, he's second best. He beat a banana over in Africa. He didn't beat no George Foreman, man. How can you see that? How can he beat me? Where'd he go? Can't beat me. Thank you, Cosell, for coming out and bringing ABC. Get a chance. It looked so easy. People thought it was fake. It looked so easy.
Well, weren't you disappointed?
Right.
Frankly,
Now,
George,
look at all the people
weren't
that
you,
came here.
That's true, but weren't you disappointed you didn't knock out Charlie Polite and
He's
Boone
all
Kirkman?
gone right, but I ain't have but 3 rounds. Next time I'm going to have, if I fight him, I'm going to fight him a 10-round fight just to prove I'm going to knock him out. I tell you, I don't like that laying up against the rope. What the fighter think to say? You can't lay up against no rope.
George,
The referee's supposed to make him come out in the middle of the ring and fight.
one other question, George. What about the laying on the wrestling on the floor with Terry Daniels?
Well, the guy, I told him, I said, you did okay.
Or Jerry Judge?
I told him he did okay. He told me I ain't did blank, 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 blank. And I pushed him. He jumped on me. He's a terrible cat, though. I'm glad someone was around to hold him. I feel good. I'm ready to go some more. Ready to go some more.
Did Ali how much did Ali upset you today with his answer?
Not at all, because I'm in the best of shape. I weigh 232 pounds, and I'm feeling like a big heavyweight. No way that powder puff, low down, good for nothing, loud mouth, Mo Hammond, whatever you call his name, can beat no George Foreman. He's instructing the guys, lay up against the rope. How can you be a champion and lay up against the rope? Man, I'm through talking.
Okay. You really want to fight him as quickly as
I want to
possible?
fight all of these guys. I just can't do no good against one man. You know, it looks pitiful. After a while, the crowd started pleading for the other guy to do good. I started playing around the last round, because I didn't want to take the guy out, make it look like something. He was bleeding. I don't want to stop. I mean, I've got to get in there and fight all the champions, all the fighters in the world, and I'm going to retire from boxing. Here's the matchmaker right here. Sign the man up, tell him to stop fighting Chuck Webb, and I knocked him out in 3 rounds. I knocked Joe Frazier out in 2 rounds. Kenny Norton out in 2 rounds. Corey would never did have enough heart to fight me. Ronnie Lyle was still a kid. I am the best around. No way he can go around and fight these guys and claim to be the best when George Foreman is still alive.
Okay, George.
I'm not the best. I still give Wim to Joe Louis. He was the greatest fighter that ever put on a pair of boxing gloves, along with Jack Johnson and Rocky Marciano. George Foreman is today's best.
All right, I've got to ask you one more question. What was that odd scene when it seemed to me you were hitting this youngster right here?
Scratched me in my gum when he took out the mouthpiece. Scratched my gum. That's my cousin, Willie Cobb, I grew him up. And then what are you going to do, turn around and scratch me?
Okay, George. Good luck to you. Thank you very much.
George, a great show. I'm very proud of you. And George, will you be ready to go about 6?
All right. George Foreman walks away